Hey everybody, Scout Crafty here again. It's Mishmash Monday. Got a few things to talk about today. I hope you're here because you're escaping with everything that's going on with the world. And my thoughts and prayers go out to everybody in Russia and the Ukraine. You know, it's a difficult situation over there. And, you know, anybody that's got some years under their belt like I do, you know, we've been through so many of these useless wars. But it seems like as people, we are destined to be in wars. That's just, it's part of our DNA, it seems like, probably since the cavemen, you know. So today, I hope you're tuning in to try and get away from some of the news and to relax for a little while. So we'll see what we can conjure up today. I have a few things around the shop to get to. Just watched a great video from my buddy Paul's workshop. He just visited a place in New Jersey, a great little place that has lots of tools and antiques, and I got to see this place. It's an hour and a half for me, but I got to make a trip there somehow. I'll put a link in the description to the video. You could get an idea if you're in that area. Seems like we're getting a lot of hits from New Jersey lately, which is a good thing. But so let's see what we got planned today, and sit back, relax, and escape for a little while here at the Scout Crafter Dungeon. Okay, for today's first project, I thought we would get. I always wanted to do one of these Stanley made in England utility knives. We don't see too many of these here in the States. This one here you can see it's a $1.99. Okay, common model, but this one's made in England. You see. Now, the difference is with this casting, first of all, it has a whole different feel to it. You see this this outer edge here isn't so pronounced. It's almost like, you know, a much more blended casting. So, you know, but other than that, you know, they have some of their similar casting flaws that they always did. So we'll see what we can do with this. It looks like it was a painted knife at one time. I don't know how to date this so much, but let's take it apart, see what the inside looks like. Okay, there are no surprises to the inside of this, as you can see. But the one thing that's nice is you see here this little lanyard hole. It's much larger. The US ones have a lanyard hole that's kind of on the tip. But this is nice because if you notice how this is made, this here fits inside of this area. So you could see that that's what creates a solid join in the back here. So I like that big lanyard hole like that. You know, it seems to, it's a nice looking knife. Let's get to it. And we get this crud here. You see this crud? This is always a pain because when it gets into the knurling, you know, you got to be careful of how you try and get that. It's a hardened crud. You don't know if it is. If it's like Bondo or something, you could do damage to the knurling trying to get that out. So, but the normal paint spatter that we normally have, this paint spatter will hold on much better than if you prepped it and painted it yourself, as we all know. Okay, we're over here at the wire brush. Now, there's something really important to remember with that. This is an aluminum casting or zinc or whatever they use, some kind of mixture. And this is a steel wire brush. Now, steel and aluminum does not get along if you press it too hard. Now, you see this paint over here? Now, to get rid of this paint, now this is kind of a coarse wire brush. If you use the side of the wheel will kind of chip that off. Like if I use it and just touch it here, it'll chip off some of that paint without damaging it. And I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, you see we were able to get the paint off with minimal scratches on here. Remember, aluminum is a soft material, and the steel wire wheel will do damage to it. And I'm going to show you what the wire wheel will do if you try and hit it head on aluminum. And if you touch it lightly, you can get a shine out of it. And let me show you. But then as soon as you touch it a little heavier, it'll pit the surface. Let me show you. Now we're going to hit it heavy. Okay. See the pitting on there? Now you just destroyed the outer surface by going to, you don't hit the steel wire brush head on. You will do this to anything aluminum. when you try and hit it with the wire brush. That's why, and that now you got to sand below that to get that's damaged surface. So that's why you don't want to hit that with the head on with the wire brush. Now, the only thing the wire brush is really good at is the knurling. And what's really important to remember is with the knurling, a knurling pattern is a diamond pattern, which means it's got lines running this way and this way. And you have to hit it at the right angle. And when you do, it should look like this. When you're hitting it with the wire brush, it should go, first you hit it with this way, all the way up and down the knife, and then you do it this way, up and down, and get in those grooves. And that's the way to preserve the knurling and get all the inside out, and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, now again, you have to hit that at all different angles to get these to get inside of that knurling. So don't try and address that brush from one pier and keep going back and forth, because all you're going to do is going to wear down the points. Or what you want to do is you want to hit it this angle, just lightly go over it all different ways from different sides until you eventually get that nice shiny look that you want, like it just came out of the factory mold. That's exactly what you want. Don't worry about getting too much in the letters. You're going to paint that or whatever, and you'll get that later with the fiber wheel. That'll get some of that flat in there. But right now, you just wanted the wire brush to get in all the grooves of that knurling. So that's good. Notice we didn't touch this really with the wire brush. We're going to hit that with either the fiber wheel or the belt sander with a very light belt, because we'll take out any scratches that are on there now. This is a good time to get the inside. Now, to get the inside, I like to use a soft wire brush. This is a brass bristle brush. Just circular motions in here like this, and that'll clean out the inside. It doesn't have to be as shiny as the outside, but that'll do a nice job. Okay, we're at the belt sander now. Because there's some scratches in here, I do have to take them out. So we're going to go with a, now I don't have, it's worn off what it is. I just go by the feel. This is a mildly aggressive worn belt. Then we'll go to a fine belt, and then we'll go to a fiber belt, okay? And that should give us the finish we want. But you have to go with a very light touch, work it around, don't try and take too much off, and be very light with it. And do not hit any of these knurled sections here, because that'll create a shiny flat spot and it'll stand out like a sore thumb. But you do want to hit these raised, the little border lines around the letters. You want to hit that. So you just got to be very careful, and don't rush this. This is important. Now you see this is before, and now you see how that seam looks. It doesn't. Now you're holding this knife together the whole time, because if you screw it together, you might hit that screw and that'll look off. So, you're holding it tightly together, making sure it's sealed. But you see how the top now, the seam is almost disappearing. That's what you want. And you're going to have some fine scratches, because this is still like, this is, I guess, equivalent to like a 320 belt. And so you're going to get that down, but that's where you're going to work it. And then again, going very lightly, because don't worry, you can always take it off with the next belt. The next belt will get rid of these scratches. But you see, we're trying to make this kind of weird seam disappear and look like that, Okay, we just finished with the coarse belt. You can see there's some scratches. Those are minute scratches. That'll come out with the next belt, so don't worry about that. But we got the seams where they're looking much better. We got the back okay. And this is where you want to go, the front. Now we go with the little bit finer belt, and then we finish off with the fiber wheel or the fiber belt. Now this is just after the fine belt. You see why you can't skip this step? Because you don't want all them deep scratches. Now this is the fine belt. You see it took off all them deep scratches, and also that's when you hit this border. You see the border around blades inside? You hit that with the fine belt, and it makes it pop. You see over here with the Stanley, same thing. You hit that border, and over here just lightly touch it. You just lightly go like this, and you make sure you don't go deeper that it hits any of that, and back and forth, and that's how you get that border to pop, And now we just have to hit a little bit with the fiber belt back here to smooth this out. You see, because you're always going to have, that's always hard to get. And then we're going to fill it with the paint on the inside of these borders. So, but we're going to polish it first. So I think it's looking very good. Here we have our preliminary polish. We'll take out some more of this, but you can see here it's nice. And everything's cleaned up, looking good. Again, aluminum sheet to polish. When you do a high polishing, that it shows every fingerprint, every little, you know, nibbit of a scratch. But meanwhile, it's like a mirror. But so anyway, we'll finish up that. But now we're going to fill in with color here. But before we do, we're going to scrub the entire knife with Comet and a toothbrush. Then put it on the burner to dry. And then we'll fill this in with paint and then wipe off the top so that the letters will pop. We'll probably use a translucent Tamiya red, and let's do that. Okay, we're ready to put some color in, and I'm going to use this Tamiya. I love this stuff. I've been using this since I'm a kid doing modeling. But this is Tamiya. This is X27 is red, X25 is green, X23 is blue. So depending on what color you have, I have orange upstairs. I was doing another project, but what you do is you basically just use a brush, float this into the lettering here, float it in. Okay, now that we filled the chamber with the paint here, and we put it on pretty thick, now what we're going to do is we're going to put on the furnace and let that smooth out while it's still damp. And don't worry about getting a little bit on the edge. You just don't want to get any in the jewel, in the diamond part. But the edge you don't worry about, and I'll show you. Next up, while the paint is drying, you know, our good friend Tony Lange had asked a question about it. He says, you know, I like these propane torches, but the thing is that these are hard to get lit, and isn't that the truth? So much so that that's why these fell out of popularity, because of how hard they are to light. You know, with this propane, when you turn the gas on here, you could hear the gas is on. You'll put out any flame that you put to it, even a match. And I'll show you. Here we'll turn the propane torch. And now we don't have it on all the way. We just have a little bit coming out. But here we'll light a match. You see how that works? It's almost pretty, it's kind of humorous when you think about it, because you could strike a match and then you put up and it'll put it out. And no matter how many times you try it, it's always a pain. Now, we've all seen these before, these kind of extended wand lighters, and they work great, you know, if you know what you're doing with them. You know, there are two types. There are the regular one that has a lazy flame to it, and this one here I found to be one of the best. It's called a Scripto Wind Resistant, and look at the flame that you get on this one here. Isn't that nice? It's almost like a little torch. Much better, much easier to light. So, but let me show you what happens even with this. It's very difficult to get the torch lit. Turning it on. What's going on, right? You say, how do you light these things? You're going to use one of those old-fashioned type torches without the sparker. You're going to need your own flint sparker. And Burns-O-Matic makes these. And let me tell you, I bought these. I bought 5 of them because I think they were like, you know, the price of 5 of them was only the price of maybe 2 or whatever. So I'm telling you, these are great. And let me show you how these work. Now, inside of your little sparker kit, you'll get this sparker, which is it's made of a steel wire with a little cup here, and it also comes with 5 additional flints. And what this does, and here's how you put the flint on. You just unscrew it like this and screw a new one on. That's where the flint goes. And to put this back, you just put it back over here on that side. That's all there is to it. Now, when you squeeze this together, see that sparking? That's what you need. So now what you're going to do is you're going to place this over the tip of the torch like this, turn it on just a little bit, and it will light right away. Okay, so here's what you do. You turn this on very lightly so that the gas is you just start to hear it coming out. Okay, and then you put this over the tip. That's all there is to it. I'll do it again. Just turn on very lightly. Bob's your uncle. How great is that? So now you know why I bought 5 of those things. Plus, I got about 3 of them floating around the shop. I'm telling you, if you don't have one of those, it's such a pain to get those torches lit. So a good tip, pick them up. They're cheap enough. Buy them on Amazon. Get a couple of them. So this way, when you misplace one, you'll always have one you can find. Incidentally, here's one I had floating around the shop that you could see the tip, the flint, is worn out. So now you just unscrew this, like I said. You take one of the new ones, they screw right back on here, and okay, screw it on, make sure it's nice and tight, put it back in, and There we go. Okay, our paint is dry. You can see here it dries quick. This is, like I said, it's quick drying paint, so it's only been not even a half an hour since we painted it. I like to save my old belts that break on the belt sander. Now, this is an old worn 240 belt. What I do is I cut a snippet off of there, and I'm going to keep it curved. You see how it's slightly curved like this? And I'm going to hold it like this, and then I'm going to... Here's my Stanley. You can see it over here. And I'm just going to rub this all over the top, okay? And this is a stiff belt, so you don't have to worry about it, you know, getting in below the letters. But you're just going to run it over the top here and to expose the letters. Now, don't push down. Let the sandpaper do the work, and it'll take off the very top of the letters. You can see here it's starting to take off the top. Again, there's the paint. Don't push down. You're just gently gliding over the top of the letters, and it'll remove the top of the letters without touching any of the bottom paint. You keep doing it until it comes nice, and that's it. Now you know my favorite part. Remember what this Stanley knife looked like before we started. And we're calling this project, well, almost done. Now, here's where you have to decide what you like. Now, this is the full polish. And when you say full polish, you can see here, I mean, it's almost like a mirror, right? But the problem is it shows up every minute scratch. And, you know, this is from just paper towel. The minute scratch, you know, when you got that kind of a mirror finish, you could see here that that came out nice, right? But now on the other side, the flip side, I showed you, we did a satin on there. And to do the satin, all you do is after you polish it out, you just go over it with a fine, you know, a little bit of Scotch-Brite, and you can see it satins it out, you know, and it's a different look. It's, you know, a different look altogether. You like the full polish, or do you like the satin? You know, lately we've been going with satin because it kind of holds up the, it doesn't show the scratches. But here, back here, this is, like I said, it's a mirror finish back here, but again, it shows the scratches. So it all depends. What do you like? Hopefully you don't like this the way it used to look, but hopefully you like it the way I like it. And now we're calling this project done. You can see I showed you the polished, the high polished version, only because, you know, you might think of taking it that way, and a lot of times you'd be chasing your tail trying to get rid of every one of those minute scratches. Every time you lay it down, it's going to get scratched. So this is the way I prefer the knife. It's got a brushed finish. You could see here it's a not a mirror finish at all, but you could put no fingerprints. You don't have to worry about it. You could put it in your pocket. It'll always look like this. So that's the way I prefer it. I love that the red in there. I think this knife is just beautiful. You know, it's a classic design. One you could still get today, still buy it right off the shelf today, and just beautiful. So in closing, you know, a utility knife is always a great little project when you just want to get down the shop and get away from it all. And you know, they're not as easy. You could take it as far and not as far as you want to go with them. So that's what's so much fun about it. And they can give you a little bit of difficulty, but you can work through it. It's a great project for all skill levels. You need to go do another one if you haven't done one in a while. Also, go check out Paul's workshop. I'll have the link in the description. Check out his trip that he took to Get a Grip store. It was a great store. And hope you have a great day. Mishmash Monday. Take care now. Bye-bye.